daydream numbs my mind. Turn on the lights, I'm still blind. Speed up, slow down, wheels keep on spinning. I play the game, I'm not winning. I've been east, I've been west, I've been put to the test. I've been high, I've been low, I don't know where to go. I've been lost, I've been found, I've been spinning around. Here's what's left of me now.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Into the Weeds podcast here on Military Broadcast Radio. I'm Amber.
And I'm Laura. I can't even hear myself. My bad. I'm Laura.
It's been a very busy week.
Yes,
we have had a lot of things going on.
Absolutely. And I'm sicker than a dog. So I'm going to see how long I can hang tonight. But honestly, I might. Let's see. When's halftime? Like, out.
Yes, and we
anyway.
are unfortunately still having internet issues. They are going to replace the box and the wires and all that stuff, but until they do that, we are at the internet's mercy.
Yeah, every week is just us explaining all of our internet issues.
So I wanted to get into a little bit of what happened last week when we had Pink Cat Sarah and Toddy on. So I had Sarah on. I asked her to come on because several people had reached out to me and asked me if we were going to ever talk to her about the Chillicothe incident. And then Sarah put a comment down in one of our videos. And so I reached out to her, and that's how the interview came about. And I just wanted to personally talk to Sarah about the Chillicothe incident. I know that the laptop and Fancy and all of the stuff surrounding all of that is important to the story and important to what's really going on. But I kind of wanted Toddy to take care of that a little bit. So, it's not that I don't believe Sarah or whatever. It's just that there's just so much stuff that's hard to even believe out there. I'm leery to believe anything that comes from Fancy's camp, whether it be screenshots or anything. So I'm not going to just automatically believe if April puts all of this stuff out. I'm not just going to automatically believe it. So yeah. So with that being said,
And, unfortunately, there were certain things that I didn't have receipts on at the time, but I have now seen receipts for that I just kind of remembered and that had left a sour taste in my mouth. And, those things are very easily found. I don't know. She just has said a lot of things that I don't appreciate. And, I just don't trust her narrative. And I do care for her in the sense that I hope that she gets better. I probably should have shown a little bit more empathy for that. But, I've spent a lot of time around people with cancer and a lot of people that are sick in various ways. And my mom has been sick my entire life. And one thing that a lot of people say is they don't want to be treated like with kid gloves. And so I was trying not to treat her with kid gloves. And so if I came off a little rude, my apologies. But I was a little frustrated with her. That being said, it is what it is, you know? Anyway,
Yeah.
we go. I've had a lot of different thoughts about it over the last like couple days, but now that I'm actually having to address it, my mind's going blank because I'm sick. So
Yeah, and I did want to also mention when Sarah did talk about the story about the Nick infiltration group. I want to remind everybody that Sarah said that there were 2 stories that she was told by Fancy or April. So give her a little bit of grace there, because she said there were 2 stories she was told and she didn't know which ones were true. So I just want you to remember that. And I just find it kind of interesting that Dawn Boker is rearing her head right at the same time. And we're being made to believe that Christy and Gypsy and Ken and the Blanchards don't care about what's going on online and don't consume any of the media put out there about them. So I just think that's a little weird. So that's all I'm going to say about that. So I was reached out to this week by Pink Cloud 9 from TikTok and YouTube, and she was wanting to know if we could collaborate on an episode about true crime. And I thought about it for a while before I responded to her, and Gypsy and Katia Aguilar are pretty much the only true crimes. Well, I guess we did talk about Cherry Papini just a little bit. But we don't really get into true crime all that much here. I mean, I know it seems like it.
True crime.
Yeah, I know.
90% of our content.
Well, no, it's not actually. I've got a lot of back. I've got a lot of back episodes that have nothing to do with Gypsy Rose.
I know.
So this is not a Gypsy Rose channel. It's just something that I happen to find myself in because my cousin is incarcerated. So it is what it is. So yeah. So when she asked me about that, I got to thinking. I was like, well, true crime. What does that mean? And what am I going to talk about? And the first thing that came to my mind was a unsolved case that happened in my hometown of Lawton, Oklahoma. And it was the murder of Athena Hogan, which actually I'm going to show you her picture now. Athena Hogan was 10 years old, and she was selling candy bars for her school fundraiser. And I was 7 years old when Tina was killed. And so I actually have a personal connection. And the reason this stream isn't going as smooth as I wanted it to is because 2 hours ago, I found out that I have a second personal connection too that is actually kind of freaking me out a little bit. So we're just going to get into that with Pink Cloud 9. So if the interview of the week will play. Sorry, guys, my internet.
Interview of the week sponsored by LTD Tactical.
Okay, so welcome Pink Cloud 9. Sorry about that.
Oh, there we go. Sorry about that. Hi, Pink Cloud. How's it going?
Hello, so good. Thank you so much for having me. And I'm so happy to not be talking about Jip, to be honest, because it's a little much sometimes. It's been a while. So yeah, I'm glad that we can talk about Athena Hogan today.
Yeah, so could you please just tell us who you are, about your YouTube channel, and why you're into true crime, and then we'll go from there?
Sure. So Pink Cloud 9 is kind of like a term for that we use in AA for recovery and mental health recovery. I'm a recovering alcoholic, so that's the reason for the name Pink Cloud. So we're like, it kind of means something like, you know, you can still be high without getting high and be on the pink cloud.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where that name came from. And then the YouTube channel and the TikTok and all the others, you know, pretty much same name. That's just the brand. And I mean, I've interviewed over 400 small business owners, and then I market their business, service, product. And then that I did that for like since 2020.
Okay.
And then as far as true crime, I mean, I've always read true crime books ever since I was like in high school, and I'm old now, so it's been a while, multiple decades. I'm okay with being old, so it's not a bad thing. It's, you know, you just get where you get to, you know. So anywho, love true crime. I mean, Richard Ramirez, obviously Ted Bundy, but also like the Ed Kempners and the you know, the Eileen Warnos, and it's just fascinating because it's like, whoa, you know, it's just like, whoa. And then the kid cases, you know, the children that are, you know, not, well, obviously the murders, but also the abuse, like Gabriel, and, you know, all of the neglect. It's just it's something that I'm just very passionate about.
Yeah.
Learning, understanding, and sharing, and figuring out. And really the bottom line is preventative measures. Like, how can we prevent this to continue happening? But I mean, obviously that's a whole nother thing. So anywho, that's it. Sorry.
No, I wanted to know about you, and I wanted our listeners to know where you come from and why you're, you know, into this stuff, because sometimes people are just into it because they're bored and it's fascinating. Other times, like me, I'm into it and I didn't realize it was the reason I was into it. But at 7 years old, you know, with Athena's case, I got thrust into kind of true crime, although no one actually ever knew that I was involved in it until now. So we'll actually get into it. So thank you everybody for being here. Thank you for supporting us. And we did get monetized, actually, which blows my mind, because I had no idea that would even be possible or anything. And so we are going to be doing memberships. I'm going to actually start doing some videos and stuff like that for people if they want to. If you donate or become a member, most of the money is going to go to Military Broadcast Radio, because that's just how I am. So I is towards that. Into the story, and I'm going to put her picture back up for a minute.
Nobody was able to find a picture of her for the longest time. She had very little information available, and we actually had to go in, and you actually might have a library in Lawton, Oklahoma, and we had to go through the archives of all of the newspapers from what year is this?
1986.
So this is just a little video I took of her, just kind of going through the.
If my internet will work.
Yeah.
Never mind. It's fine.
But anyway.
Anyways, that's Athena. That's how we found Athena's picture.
Yeah.
I had forgotten about Athena, honestly. I mean, not completely forgotten about her, but I mean, she was back in the back of my mind. But I got really sick in 2015. I was in bed for 6.5 years with migraines, and Alora shared a Stephanie Harlow video with me about Joseph Mengele. And yeah, and So when I watched that, I was like, oh, I really like her. And so I started checking out more of her content. And as I started going through some of the true crime content, I started remembering Tina. And so that got me thinking, well, whatever happened? And so about 2019, I think, I started trying to look into it. I was still sick at the time, still in bed, but when I had the wherewithal, I would write letters or make phone calls, and I never got anywhere. And so one day I just decided, after I had started feeling better let's see, it had been 2022 probably. 2022, I decided to go to Lawton, Oklahoma, my hometown, which is 7.5 hours away.
2023.
2020. Oh, yeah.
Whenever we did this, is this what you're talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Was that
Yeah,
2023?
it's 2023.
Okay, 2023.
Yeah.
And no, so it actually would have been 2022 when we went to Lawton and I first filed the first FOIA request.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then 2023, yeah, 2023 is when I found this.
Gotcha.
And it was actually only after I got contacted by the detective in the case. Detective Gregory Adams from the Lawton Police Department had just happened to have gotten assigned Athena's case a few months before I started looking into it. And I was the only person who had looked into it in over 30 years. So that, caught his attention. So he wanted to know what was going on and why I wanted to know about an old case that nobody had looked into. And he eventually, we got on a phone call and I told him everything. And so we're going to get into that tonight. So just wanted to kind of give you a little backstory of how this came about. So, okay. So Lawton, Oklahoma is actually, you know what? We should probably go to break. Joel will kill me if I don't. Let's go to break first. And then when we come back, we will actually get into the case. So Pink Cloud, thank you very much for sticking with us. And
Yes.
I know it's going to be me talking most of the time, but please interject at any time because I don't want to be the only one talking.
No worries. I will. I mean, just give me a prompt and I'll unmute my microphone and ask or say something. Just prompt me. Thanks.
Okay. Well, this is Sacred Flowers and it's by the Blue Mountain Tribe. We'll be right back if it plays. Oh, Joel, you may not get a commercial this time. Okay, well, we're not going to go to commercial because it'll mess us up, I guess. I don't know.
I'm not going to do musical break for you guys.
Yeah, please bear with me, guys. This is just so awful. Okay.
Well, anyway.
So anyways, Lawton, Oklahoma it's South Central Oklahoma.
Sacred flowers, sacred mother, earth is crying, flowers, sacred mother, earth is crying for her daughters. Where have you gone? Who took them from us? Who stole them from us? Sacred flowers. Sacred flowers, sacred mother, earth is crying for her daughters. Sacred flowers, sacred mother, earth is crying for her daughters. Blooming life on the res, bringing light to our lives. You are missing your mist, sacred flowers.
Looks like it's still going on. Oh,
It froze back
my
here.
bad. Okay.
Sorry, guys. We are having some serious technical difficulties right now.
If you haven't already noticed.
Yeah,
from every other week before this.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of frustrated.
No,
After what I learned 2 hours or about
yeah.
2.5 hours ago, I'm kind of really like on nerve, on
Yeah,
edge.
She came up the stairs. We thought something happened. Like, I was concerned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna set the scene for Athena Hogan.
Mhm.
Okay, so Lawton, Oklahoma is a small city. It's in south central Oklahoma. It's an hour north of Texas. And it's basically Native American country. It's Native America is what we call it. It's home to the Comanche Nation, the Kiowa Nation, several other nations, several other.
Mhm.
And so that's kind of the backdrop of Lawton, Oklahoma. It's butted right up next to Fort Sill, which is an artillery base for the Army. And so it's a very diverse community, lots and lots of culture, lots of different people in and out on a daily basis. You know, when I was in the military, I in-processed and out-processed at least 50 soldiers a day coming in and out of the unit that I was in. So I did the paperwork on all of them. So just imagine all the different other units, the soldiers coming in and the soldiers coming out. So it's a it's a very happening place. And to top it off, it's got a lot of gang activity as well, which is kind of surprising to me, just because it's a small town in Oklahoma, or a small city in Oklahoma, but it definitely has that vibe to it. So yeah, that's Lawton, Oklahoma. And artillery, this is very important for you to know. Artillery involves the use of cannons or rockets or missile fire to destroy, suppress, or neutralize the enemy. And this includes moving, loading, and maintaining cannon weapon systems. So this is going to become important to the story. I grew up probably 3 miles or no, it was a mile and a half from the gate of Fort Sill. And we always, our house was always shaking. It always would constantly shaking because time when I was in high school, we had an earthquake and we thought it was Fort Sill until it kept going and kept going and kept going. And then we realized what it was. So that I was just used to the whole world rocking and rolling all the time. So that's Fort Sill. So, sorry, I got a lot of notes. And I was smoother on the delivery earlier, but when I found this information out, I freaked out. And now I'm just like kind of on adrenaline overload. And I know it doesn't seem like it because I sound very monotone or whatever. But inside me, my heart's like beating 90 miles an hour. Okay.
The laughter is just nervous laughter.
Yes. And by the way, anytime you hear me laugh at an inappropriate moment, it's probably because I laugh at everything when I'm nervous.
Yeah, no, I do the same thing too, honestly. So, oopsie. Yeah, no, I feel you. I just wanted to clarify that because, I feel like that sometimes.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, you should hear me on a roller coaster. I'm cackling the entire way.
With your eyes closed.
Yes.
So anyway, I really want to hear about, I really want to hear about how this case with Athena Hogan is personal to you. From what I understand, your cousin was dating Robert Taylor, and he was one of the people that was of interest in her death.
Yes, Robert Taylor was actually the man who found Athena. And we'll actually get into the story of how he found her. But yes, my cousin was dating Robert Taylor's brother. And for the life of me, I can't remember his name at the moment. But anyways, yeah, his brother was dating my cousin, and they were teenagers. So, and actually they had just broken up probably like a month or two before this happened. So,
no, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
No,
Continue.
No. So they had probably just broken up like a month or two before, and my cousin already had a new boyfriend. The teenage life and everything. She's still married to him to this day, so so it worked out.
There you go.
So so yeah. Anyways, on August. When she was 14 years old. And there's a big story about Cindy that happens just about 2 months before Athena dies. But we're not going to get into that yet because otherwise I'll be all over the place. So we're going to get into just the day of Athena's day. So at 4:30, Athena sets out from her home that she shared with her and she went out to sell chocolate bars for a school fundraiser. Pink Cloud, have you?
You cut off for a second, so I'm just going to give you some time. Can you repeat the question?
Yes. So Athena was out selling candy bars.
Right.
You did that?
I'm sorry. I can really not hear you, and I was just wondering if you had asked a question or if
you can't hear me.
It's just kind of lagging a little tiny bit.
No, she was just talking about how she was Athena was selling candy bars for a school fundraiser, and she was just wondering if you've ever done that before.
Oh, sorry.
Have to do the old school fundraisers or anything? Did you ever do anything like that growing up?
Totally.
It looks like our.
I mean, but always going with an adult for one. And every time I see kids nowadays selling, whatever they're selling, T-shirts or whatever, they're with their parents. You know what I mean? So, but I know that her mom was young, 14 or so, right? And so, as you just said, and then she was living with her grandparents and all that stuff. So, I mean, I understand, but yeah, I mean, sure. But again, always with an adult around to protect, right?
Yeah, well, you would think that, but in Lawton, Oklahoma, that wasn't the case. I actually sold candy bars even after Athena passed away, in the same way. And we would go out door to door, all of us, and sometimes we would go as a group, and sometimes we would go alone. And I remember several times going alone and selling candy bars to strangers at their homes.
That was the least concerning thing you were doing at that age, honestly.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, you would go and pick up cigarettes for your mom and stuff like that at the store.
Oh,
right?
that was normal too in the 80s.
Yes, exactly. The 80s, absolutely a different time.
Man, I have a that bothers me. I worked at like a vape shop and everything like that for like a year. And then they did the whole thing where they changed it from 18 to 21, so I wasn't even grandfathered in. So even though I was able to work at a vape shop and all that stuff, I couldn't even do that. But y'all at like 8 years old could go up to the convenience store and pick up some ciggies. That's wild.
Yep.
Different world.
Totally different world. Yeah, so I mean, most of us kids in Lawton, I mean, I'm just being honest, we were wild, we were running the streets, we didn't have parental supervision, especially in the 80s and 90s. There was just that wasn't heard of.
Yeah.
That wasn't the life. So yeah, Tina actually set off from her house with an actual list of people that she wanted to visit to ask them to buy the candy bars. And I don't know whatever happened to that list. And I don't know if she ever made it to any of the people on the list, because like I said before, I have requested a FOIA, but because it's an open case, they will not give me the FOIA. So I am at the mercy of all of the news articles that I could find online, and then I had to go through the library as well to get them. So Tina said when she left, she said, "I'll see you later, Granny," and in a little while. And at about 7:30 p.m., Julie, her grandmother, started getting worried because she hadn't heard from her or seen her. So they began a little search party, basically. Her and her family. I think Tina's aunt was involved as well. And what you also need to know is that Tina had a history of running away, and it's because of her grandfather. She was afraid of her grandfather. I'm not sure, or at least according to a witness, she said she was afraid of her grandfather. Don't know if that's true or not, but she did run away a couple of times, so I'm sure that's the case. So, can anybody tell me if the audio is just really bad or...
That was random.
No, I know, but I'm noticing it says audio's cutting, and I just want to make sure.
It's got its moments. Like, it goes good for a while, and then all of a sudden it'll just cut, but then it comes right back, and it's kind of just, it's not that bad. It was just, I think they were talking about like back when I was talking, and then I was like, I can't hear you, and then you had to repeat the question like a couple times. But I mean, it happens, but I can hear you fine for now.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure, because I didn't want everybody struggling through this.
We're serving up professionalism as always. Aye, Captain. No, yeah.
Okay, so Pink Cloud, you actually read some of the news articles. You want to talk about what it said about her grandfather?
Yes, thank you for sending me the news articles and the video of the detective talking about her case. And one of the articles was just saying how even when she went to school, sometimes she would go in with dirty clothes and just looked unkept. And so that was just kind of like obviously a red flag. And it's like, I don't understand why people, don't stand up for these kids. But then I also think, well, it's because of angels like Athena Hogan that laws have come into play
Yeah.
Regulations.
Mm-hmm.
This is why people will take their kids out to sell candy bars now versus in the 80s, um, because we learn as we go, and then so anyway, that was just one of the things that struck me from the article about her grandfather. He was questioned. He was a suspect at some point as well,
Mm-hmm.
so that's it from that
Okay.
point.
Okay. So, yeah, that's basically all it said. I mean, there's a little bit more, but it's all conjecture and hearsay. So it's like, I don't know. We'll get into it. But so at the top here, this is where Tina lived. And this down here is where the ultimate suspect in the case lived. However, he was acquitted. So we're gonna talk about that. So it looks like it was roughly around 2 blocks or so, not very far, but this was a whole neighborhood. It was called Mission Village. And did we just come back? Okay, it's pausing. Guys, I really want to do justice to Tina's case, and I like this. So I think we're just not going to talk about that right now because honestly, I'm feeling very disrespectful at the moment.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. And I'm also like completely out of it. I'm not being a good co-host right now.
Okay.
Oh, people are just saying, do we lose them? People might not even be able to see anything at
Yeah.
all.
Pink Cloud, can you hear us at all?
Yeah, I can hear you. And yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you want to take a pause and reschedule or reset or whatever, that's understandable. I mean, it's like you said, it's not fair to the case for it to be going in and out.
Yeah, it's not fair to Tina, and this case is really important to me.
Yeah, it's something that's really I looked into it for you maybe like 29. Wasn't really able to do much. Like I said, she wasn't feeling well, and she asked me to look into it for her, and I got kind of attached to the case a little bit too. So yeah.
Yeah, Tina means a lot to me, and thank you, Laura Lynn.
Thank you, Laura Lynn.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
I don't like to cry.
Oh, it's okay.
I don't like to cry, and when I proposed this case to my manager on military broadcast radio, this was one of the cases that I really wanted to talk about, and I wanted to wait until the DNA test results came back. But they haven't, and it's been 2.5 years since they were sent out. I don't know if the results have actually come in or not, and I'm just not aware of the actual the results or not. But I sent Detective Gregory Adams some new information today that I found out, and I guess I'll just share it with you. I just want to get it off my chest a little bit. And we're going to revisit Tina's case because I can't do it like this. So not only did I know the man who found her, but I also knew, okay, so Tina's mother was beaten and put in a coma 2 months before Tina was murdered. And I didn't know about this until recently because my aunt gave me access to the library, and I did not know Athena, Marissa. I did not know her. And I've been trying for years to find somebody who does. And nobody has been willing to come forward. So I'm hoping one day that happens. But so Athena's mother was beaten and put into a coma 2 months or so before Athena was murdered. And she was beaten so severely that when she came out of the coma, she wasn't able to testify in the trial against the man who beat her. And so he went free. And I just found out today that the man who beat Athena's mother is most likely the son of a man named Reverend Ronnie Miller, who owned the house that we lived in. My mother and father, when they were together, they bought the house, or they were buying it from Reverend Ronnie Miller. I don't know if he had a real estate company or what. I'm sure he probably did. And my mother and my father hated Ronnie Miller, Reverend Ronnie Miller. My mom especially. My dad wasn't around for very long after they bought the house, maybe 2 years or so. And so my mom ended up living in that home until she passed away in 2015. And she ended up buying the home from him probably in 2008 or something like that. So she got out from underneath him around that time. But my mom used to tell me when I was a kid that she hated this man. My mom didn't hate many people. My mom was very fun-loving. She was a drug addict. So, I mean, she was everybody's best friend. She loved to fish and party and hang out, My mom loved people, and she didn't really hate anybody, but this man she hated. And now I have to wonder why.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to wonder why. And my husband kind of made me think a little bit, that maybe he was asking her to do something to pay for it instead of money. So I don't know. It's very possible. But my mother hated this man so much that she would pray that he would get caught for whatever. I don't know. She would pray for years and years and years. She would pray that he would get caught. And one day, she woke up from a dream. She had a dream that he had gotten in trouble, and it was like huge trouble. And my mom always had dreams that would come true, and Alora does as well, and I've had some as well. And
Expose me.
yeah, and well, sorry.
No, you're good.
So we have dreams in the family that come true, and Reverend Ronnie Miller was arrested for using a dead man's credit card. I don't know the context.
Yeah.
I don't know the context at all.
That's wild.
But all I know is he was arrested for it. And I remember when he was arrested, my mom was so thankful. So that being said, that's what I found out today is that Reverend Ronnie Miller, as far as I could tell, his son beat Athena's mom, Cindy Hogan, into a coma. So bad she wasn't able to testify. So, yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
Yeah, that's heavy, but yeah, no, that's a lot. That's a lot.
In the meantime, until my internet gets fixed, and I'm gonna have to do something because this is just really frustrating.
Sorry to all the new viewers we've been getting recently.
Yes,
you
and
guys have not gotten us at our best for a
Yeah.
variety of reasons, unfortunately.
Yeah, my dog
And,
died, and then I found this out,
Yeah.
and I'm so sorry, guys. And I thank everybody for being here. But what I want you to do is please go over to Ken Maines. He's a great guy. He did me a solid and went over this case. And he did a good video on this.
The channel's going to be Unsolved No More.
Yeah.
Let's
And I'm
see.
just
Put
gonna,
it up there.
so I was hoping it would go to a screenshot or a thumbnail. But anyways, it's Athena Hogan, deep dive, renowned cold case detective, gives his thoughts on this unsolved homicide. Let me share it in the chat. If my internet will work. Okay, my internet's not working. So
maybe we can put it on our community tab.
Yes, I will put it in my community tab. And please go watch that. And then as soon as my internet gets fixed, I am going to do this case. And Pink Cloud, you can come back and talk to me about it.
Sorry, we've barely even gotten to talk to you.
Oh, you're good. No, yeah, it's interesting because when you were speaking about the Reverend and the son, and they're like, whatever people, it went fine, the whole thing. But when you were trying to talk about Athena's case, it was like choppy. So it's like, okay, So you know how those things kind of work themselves that way sometimes, right?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's reschedule. Don't worry about it.
Okay, so I thank everybody. It's been a cluster, but I thank everybody so much for being here. I thank all the subscribers that I've gotten recently.
Yes,
and we got monetized, which is mind blowing. And like I said, most of the money will be going to MBR because that's just how I am. But we're going to come back stronger with better internet. So I pray that everybody has a blessed night. I pray that you do something really great to change the world for the better. I mean, I'm constantly finding out new things, and I'm constantly being challenged with justice and my whole life. And for whatever reason, God's got me on this path. So I just pray that all of you have a blessed evening, and go Chiefs.
Go Kendrick. Anyway.
Thank you, Pink Cloud 9.
Thank you so much. So sorry we didn't get to talk.
Thank you. No worries. One last plug. Sir Morbid X is coming on live at 7:30 p.m. Central. So in about 30 minutes or so, if y'all want to go head on over there and watch the show.
Oh yeah, I'll be there. I'm always in the chat.
You and the people watching you as well. I mean, gotta go have some fun. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you, Pink Cloud, and sorry that I'm sick and we're all kind of a mess. It's a clusterfuck today, and our internet as always.
And thank you, Laura Lynn, again for the super
Yes,
chat.
thank you
That
so
was
much.
that was very awesome.
Very
So
much appreciate it.
have a blessed day or blessed night, and go Chiefs.
Have a good one.
If it works.
Will even let us end it?
I don't know. Play outro.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.